All right, we got more ammunition for the people, for the camp that says that Trump and his administration is authoritarian and fascist. Boy, this is crazy. And before you say anything like, "Oh, this is just some random bill. It has no emotion." Okay, this bill was basically endorsed by House Speaker Johnson, so I am going to highlight it. This is from NBC News. As Trump and his allies push to impeach judges, Speaker Johnson eyes an escape hatch. Johnson has backed a bill seeking to bar district judges from issuing nationwide injunctions, an alternative to House Republicans taking politically perilous impeachment votes. So let's read. This is just crazy. This is just added to the list of authoritarian things that this administration has been coming up with. So, House Speaker Mike Johnson faces mounting pressure from President Donald Trump and some of his allies in Congress to impeach judges who are blocking his agenda. But legislation introduced by Representative Darrell Issa, a Republican from California, could provide Johnson with an off ramp, allowing his members to voice their support for Trump on the issue while avoiding politically perilous impeachment votes that are all but doomed to fail. Issa's bill, the No Rogue Rulings Act, would seek to bar district court judges from issuing nationwide injunctions, the sort of rulings that hampered Trump's fully enacting his plans on issues from deportation to federal agency cuts 2 months into the new administration. Johnson, a former constitutional attorney, threw his support behind the bill over the weekend. So this is wild, okay? And this is worse than trying to impeach a judge. Like, so the to impeach a judge, I believe, is much harder to do than pass a bill. So to impeach a judge, it obviously has to get through the House in a majority. And then once it gets to the Senate, I think it takes 2/3. So, like, what, 67 plus votes or something like that to actually get an impeachment filed and, removed from a judicial position. So that's almost impossible. At least I hope. And to, just pass a normal bill, you just have to like beat the filibuster requirement, which is what, like 60 or something. So, and this is not impeaching a single judge. This is just suppressing the entire, like, this is just complete suppression of the courts. This is removing one of the biggest checks we have in our government because they don't like what they're ruling. And they claim, why do they keep targeting us? Because you keep breaking the law, from cutting federal agencies that have been, that had their budgets approved by Congress or were established by Congress, or enacting a wartime act that's only been invoked 3 times in our nation's history so you could extrajudicially deport more people to freaking El Salvador. Like, no wonder. And, if them screaming to impeach these judges because they disagree with their rulings is one thing, now they just want to suppress all judges. And yeah, this is easier to get through. And if you have freaking idiots like John Fetterman on the Democratic side, then yeah, something like this could get passed. And that'd be crazy. Insane. But I don't think it will. But just the fact that they're having the conversation and this is actually endorsed by the Speaker of the House, that just speaks volumes. Volumes about how much this administration does not care about rule of law or the Constitution. So, where are we? So we have a major malfunction in our federal judiciary, and practically every week another judge casts aside the tradition of restraint from the bench and opts to be the Trump resistant in robes. Issa, a senior member of the Judiciary Committee, told NBC News on Monday, "Our bill is the constitutional solution to a national problem, and that's why it's on a glide path to the House floor and to Senate next," he added. Even as some hardline conservatives in the House introduced articles of impeachment against certain judges, most notably U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, who halted Trump's using the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelan migrants, it's unlikely such resolutions could win enough Republican support to reach majorities in the House. In addition, 67 votes would be needed for convictions in the Senate, where Republicans have a 53-47 majority. Okay, so I was right on the 67 vote thing. I promise I didn't read this beforehand. I skim it at best. I try to give a somewhat raw reaction. So Representative Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, said Monday on Fox News that his committee will hold a hearing next week focused on Boasberg and that Issa's bill is a good piece of legislation, my lord. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Republican from Louisiana, who controls the floor schedule, said Monday that the chamber would vote on it next week. It's crazy. This is the stuff that they are focused on. And I've been trying to scream, and I'm not even talking about the authoritarian executive power grab. Okay, put that aside for a second. If you want to, you can be as blind to that as you want, I guess. But like, you can't even recognize that like these people don't care about legislating things that actually benefit the average American. The only thing that they've done in terms of consumer agencies or doing anything there is cuts, freezing budgets, slashing employees. Meanwhile, they are increasing border security funding, defense funding, and putting these nonsense bills to the top of the floor and prioritizing them over everything else. Where is something to address healthcare? Like, we are the only country in the world that doesn't guarantee healthcare to all of its citizens. Affordable, at least. Our minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. We need a living wage. Why not anything to improve wages, anything to help lower grocery costs, anything, just anything. Give me something. Like, but people are still blindly supporting this nonsense. Like, look at what they are doing. They are not prioritizing you. They don't care about you. They care about deporting people, swooping up the military, and tax cuts for the rich. That's been all their focus, and taking away liberties like, freedom of speech. And we'll get to that in another video today. Where are we? In an appearance Sunday on Fox News, Johnson appeared to throw cold water on the idea of impeaching judges, instead pointing to the appeals process as a way to fight back against rulings he disagreed with. I do think the line is being crossed right now, said Johnson, a former lawyer who litigated religious liberty cases. Oh boy. Recalling his experience, he said, I never walked out of those courtrooms thinking that I could impeach those judges. I just got as quickly as I could to the appellate court. I'm not good with the judicial stuff, man. I'll be honest. So if I pronounce that wrong, and I have no idea what that is, to get them overturned. Is that like an appeals court? Anyways, but something's happening right now. He continued, pointing to the number of Trump's policies that had been blocked by federal injunctions. Something's amiss. I think we've got to address it. So like he starts out good. Like, yeah, we shouldn't impeach judges. We should challenge them legally. To backing a bill that just suppresses judges across the country, like one of the biggest checks we have. And yeah, I agree with you a lot of the time that they hamper progress. I was mad when they blocked student loan debt relief. But did you see Joe Biden and House Democrats, Senate Democrats trying to impeach freaking judges because of it, and screaming and trying to pass legislation to ignore judges and give all the power to the executive? No. If they would have done that, freaking MAGA would have lynched Joe Biden. What are we talking about? Oh, man. Let's see. Asked about the possibility of pursuing impeachment of judges Monday at the Capitol, Johnson told reporters everything is on the table, but added that impeachment is an extraordinary measure and that Republicans are looking at all the alternatives. Other senior House Republicans also aren't in a rush to impeach judges who've ruled against Trump. Representative Roger Williams of Texas, the chair of the Small Business Committee, said Monday he has been entirely focused on Trump's decision to have the Small Business Administration take over the education department student loan portfolio. I do think the judge is overstepping, so we'll see what happens. I don't know how much more of this I want to read. I think we got the gist of it. Yeah. Well, that's all I wanted to pretty much get. This is just comments from different freaking lunatic Republicans. So, yeah, like, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is more ammunition to the authoritarian fascist argument. Like, you have this, you have blatantly ignoring court orders, you have the obviously attempting to freeze and cut agencies that were established by Congress or have approved budgets from Congress without any congressional approval. You're rounding up and deporting people to slave labor camps in El Salvador with no due process. And he's also hinted, by the way, that he wants to do this, that maybe he'll do this to U.S. citizens too. Oh my goodness. Taking control of independent federal agencies, FTC, SEC, threatening to legally go at people in his administration, threatening to legally go after political enemies. Tom Homan, the border czar, has threatened legal action against AOC. There were, I forget what the exact case was, but there's a couple of Democrats, but like one of them was Chuck Schumer. There were inquiries opened up on Chuck Schumer. Elon, you have right now what's unfolding, the Elon and Pam Bondi, the like the head attorney general or whatever, threatening Jasmine Crockett, a elected House Democrat. Like, they're threatening her with legal action. Trump regularly calls for news outlets that he doesn't like to lose their license. He even said the other day that some of them they should be illegal. He's setting the stages to be able to basically lock up people on the left without due process with the Tesla protest. So they are trying to make it so vandalizing like a Tesla dealership is considered terrorism. So that means you think, for one, if you put that in simple terms, you're trying to make a terrorism charge for vandalism. For vandalism. Do you know how many terrorism charges we should be throwing around then? No, the terrorism is more than just words or just a name. It gives them a lot of methods to detain, deport, arrest you, or just hold you indefinitely without any due process. So if you're standing within a mile of a Tesla dealership and, something bad happens at that Tesla dealership, they're going to say, yeah, you were close enough. Like, if look what they're doing. They're testing this all out on permanent green card residents right now. Like, if it can happen to them, it can happen to you, because this is all extrajudicial, no due process, no trial. They are setting the stage for it, but people can't see it. And it's so ironic because he compares, I remember Trump just said this last week in a news interview. He said that in response, like, this was about when asked about the Tesla vandalism and all that, he's like, man, you never seen stuff like this on January 6th. Dog. January 6th, a bunch of people stormed the Capitol building trying to overturn an election. But no, that's not terrorism, and all those people get pardons. This is insane. And this entire time, they're just turning the average person against each other, so that we're fighting amongst each other instead of looking up at the people who are actually hurting us, or scapegoating marginalized groups like trans people or immigrants. Like, none of these people are responsible for your expensive health care, expensive groceries, why you haven't gotten a promotion, or why your fucking company's paying you dirt wages that you can barely get by on. No, it's not these people's fault. It's the people that you are actively defending. Wake up. Oh boy. All right. That's all I have. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.